Let me just share one of the ones. I've taken 34 girls into my home over the years when I was single, and some of them were pregnant at the time, on the streets. It didn't really matter, but one of them had been hooked on, addicted to drugs. She kicked the habit and was living with me, and that was, of course, one of the agreements was that she had to go to school or go to work and not be on drugs. So she was able to get rid of the drugs, and things seemed to be going very well. And she had done some special training, and she was in counseling, living with me, and looked like she was ready to get out there and work. I went away on a trip, and she was old enough. She was in her 20s at that time, and I left her for the first time on her own, totally. I even left her my car to drive while I was away, because she had proven herself now. Been with me almost a year. Now I wasn't running a home anymore. I was on my own. I would take one girl at a time. I found having 5 and under sort of a group home setting, there's a lot more conflicts, if you want to say that, because they're sort of fighting any authority. Whereas if I just took a person into my home that God would direct to me, they would say, "Why are you doing this?" And I said, "Because God told me to take you into my home." And so I would just bring that person in and work with them. Some were referred to me from churches that they just didn't know what to do with that individual anymore. So I came back from a trip, and I could tell as soon as she picked me up at the airport, it was like a cloud of darkness all over her. Not just darkness, evil. And so we went home and we sat down and we talked. And she told me flat out that she decided that she would like to do drugs and just worship the devil and do her thing. And I said, "Well, that's fine, but then you can't live with me. God has brought you in here, and so I don't insist that you go to church," although she would come with me. I can't make anybody be a believer. But every person that moved in with me knew they were living with me because God had spoken to my heart, take that person in. And so here she's saying, "I am going to do drugs, and I'm going to worship the devil." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I said, "Well, can you," and then of course there was like, "Well, I'll give you 30 days. She's giving me 30 days to decide whether I'm going to let her live like that in the place or not. And so I turned around and gave her 30 days to find a place to live. I said, "You have 30 days to find somewhere else to live. If you want to do drugs, then you're going to do drugs. I can't stop you. But if you're living here in 30 days, I'm putting you in a special home in London, Ontario, that works with people with similar backgrounds." But this is no joke. Obviously, this is a greater problem than we thought. It seemed like we were successful for so many months, almost a year. And so the end of the 30 days came. She hadn't moved out, and she hadn't packed or anything. Probably one of the hardest days in my life was to take her things. She's on the ground. This is a girl in her 20s, holding onto my ankle, crying onto my legs, begging me not to send her to this home. Now, she'd already done all the paperwork, the intake, and she was a perfect fit for this particular home that she was going into because of all her presenting problems. And I had to drive her down there, take her to the home. I was paying for it, and eventually she left the home and went on her own way. She's turned her life around now and is doing very well. But if I hadn't done that tough love, she's giving me an ultimatum of 30 days. You figure it out. Like she wasn't going to do drugs for 30 days, and after that she would. She would live with me, do drugs, and worship the devil. So anyways, I had to turn it around, and she was just begging, but I couldn't not do it. I couldn't give her another 30 days or anything. She had given me the 30 days, and I felt God say, "No, turn it back," and I had to stick with it. Now, looking in hindsight, it was all the right things to do. I paid, I visited her. Tough love doesn't mean you abandon the person. You are saying no to bad behavior. You're saying no to destructive behavior. It does cause a conflict. When light and darkness comes together, there's a clash. There's a clash. And one is going to win. Are you going to let darkness win and let the devil rule your house? Or will you let light win and Jesus Christ be Lord over your house?